Hello, Pastor Joe, and I want to welcome you back to the Parson's Bench Workshop. I know, and I said this in the last video, it has been a good while since I've been out here. I'm trying to juggle a lot of different things. Things are busy at work. We've got a boat a sailboat we're trying to get sailable, and so we can go out sailing, and just a lot of things. And but anyway, I wanted to do a little scroll saw project today, and we've got two grandkids, and another one that should be born in a couple of weeks. Our oldest will be 4 first week of March. The youngest right now will be 2 this coming week. So I had made a name puzzle for our first grandchild. This is not it. This was to be, but I didn't like the way it turned out, so I changed the font, and plus I got a new scroll saw, and I got hopefully better at what it was. But just an easy little puzzle. So I wanted to do that for our youngest grandson now. Now they officially call him George. I call him Goose. I call Charlie Dill. Those are whole other stories. But I wanted to make this puzzle for Goose, for George. Now, you can use any font you want. I think this is something like bubblegum, and I like it over the one I first started with because this is rounded. So first of all, there's no sharp edges. Second, I just find it's kind of easier to cut and to shape in the way that I want it. One of the things you got to do, because there's really no scrap on this other than the middle of the O and the R. And so, I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to get up closer. You can kind of see where you want to try to hide your holes for your blade. And so, now the middle pieces are the scrap, it doesn't matter. But on the others, I try to put them right on the line. And, again, yeah, you can kind of see that. And try to put them where there's kind of a junction or some things are happening, so it's not so easy to see. So anyway, let's take this over to the scroll saw and we'll get busy cutting out these letters. So what I want to do now is to peel off the pattern for all of these, and then we'll take them over to the, if there's any kind of fuzzies and kind of just cleaning up we need to do, we'll take them over to the flapper sander. I probably will do it because that's the best way I have found to get some of these areas. So let me go ahead and peel off the pattern, and then we'll join back together at the drill press with the flapper sander in there. Okay, I got the flapper sander in my drill press. This is like 180 grit, and it's good for just kind of taking off any kind of fuzzies you get when you're cutting, and it doesn't do any real shaping, but it will kind of smooth things out. Alright, I think those came out good. Now these are going to be painted, so I'm probably not going to do any more sanding on them. And let's go work on the puzzle base and get it ready to go. Alright, so I think what I want to do here, because I got excess and I knew I would, there's about 1 inch above these letters, just slightly over. So what I want to do is make, I think, 1 inch about all the way around. So I'll just want to And I'll go off of this O here. It's actually an inch and like an eighth. So we'll do that. I'll mark that there. Doesn't have to be exact. So let's see if we can get these marked, and then we'll go over to the table saw. Alright, let's pull the tape off of this, and then we'll sand on it a little bit, and then we can start working on getting it back on. Okay, so I did do just a slight bit of sanding on this, on some shaping things, primarily where I had drilled my holes, a couple of places for my blade, just to kind of smooth that out. I didn't show it because, I mean, you know, we all know how exciting that sanding can be. So that's pretty good. The other thing I went ahead and did is trace this out onto a piece of hardboard, and then I cut it. And it is slightly larger than this piece. Not much. And that's what I wanted. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this onto it. We've got, this is the board that would be the backer board. The back of it, and then this will go on there, something like that. Got to be sure that the edges are hanging over. So what I want to do is put some glue on this side, and I've got these mats. They're actually like placemats. I picked them up at a Habitat resale store, and they're not quite like silicone mats, but very similar. Glue does not stick to them, so I'll put that down so I don't get glue on my workbench. So let's spread some glue on this. I want to be sure I get the right side, and we'll get this glued, and I got some nice fancy clamps to hold it down. So the main thing, I'm not as worried about these middle pieces, though I do try to get some glue on them. But the main thing is be sure you got glue coverage, good glue coverage, all the way to the edges. Alright, I can tell with my fingers that there's that backboard is hanging over all the way around, which is what we need. So I'm going to cover this. And then I tell you what I usually do is just set bricks on it. Piece of string, I actually wondered where that went. I was doing a project for the boat the other day. Okay. I think that will be enough pressure on there. So I'm going to take a little break, and then when I can get back out here, we'll do some painting on those letters. Okay, we're going to start painting these pieces. Let me grab some paint brushes, and then we will see about getting these things painted. And I like these little, I think these are really color samples. These are from Lowe's. We have a Lowe's here in town. And usually for the projects I do, particularly kind of scroll saw projects, puzzle pieces and whatnot, one of these, which is only a couple of dollars, I think, $4 or $5 or so, will last me quite a while and do quite a few projects. And I usually try just to paint the top and try not to get it onto the edges or the sides. That way they still fit very nicely into where they were cut out. We're going to let that dry for, I got some things I need to go do, errands to run, so we'll let this dry for a couple of hours. We'll wash out our brushes, and then we'll come and do another coat on them. Okay, so yesterday I put 2 coats of paint on each of the letters, and I think they're going to do fine. The 2 coats covers it great, so that's perfect. I also just took off the bricks from where this was glued up. It glued up great. So the next thing I need to do is get the router into the extension on my table saw for the table, and then we can route this flush and put a little round over on it, and then we'll be ready to do a little spray finish on this. Alright, we're going to put a couple of clear coats on here, and I'm going to use this Minwax Polyacrylic water-based. I don't have a lot, but I've got a little bit of 2 cans, but it should be enough because it shouldn't take a whole lot. So we'll do 2 or 3 coats, and yeah, this is just about done. Alright, I think we can call this project pretty well finished. I got several coats of clear finish on here, and got 1 coat on the letters. That'll just protect them a little bit, but they're painted and they'll do well. So we're going to get this in the mail. This is for my grandson George, and he lives just outside of Chicago. We live in southeastern North Carolina, so we're going to put this in the mail tomorrow and let it travel 1,002 miles. So he'll have one just like his brother does. Well, I appreciate you joining me for this little project. This is a simple project, easy to do if you've got kids, grandkids, or whatnot. I encourage you to take a try at this. There's not a lot of specific measurements or anything, but have fun with it. And thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.